Welcome back, everyone. You're about to watch part two of a sort of mini live stream series where we work on building widgets using Jetpack Glance, which is building home screen widgets using Jetpack Compose. In the first part, which I'll link below if you haven't seen it, we just go through the basic Glance setup and get something on our screen using test data. In this portion, we start implementing that with real data, where we pull some matches from the network, store them in a database, and have our widget read from that database. So we actually got all the way done with this. I want to do a little more where we can actually refresh that data, either pull at specific intervals or give the user a refresh button that they can click. But we didn't get to do that in this stream, but keep an eye out for a potential part 3 in the future. The live stream hasn't happened yet, so I don't know when it will come out, but definitely keep an eye out for that, and I hope you enjoy part 2. All right, welcome back, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to technically not our first Friday stream, but hopefully our first of the consistent Friday day streams. I know a lot of people have been excited about this and me doing a more European friendly time because I know evenings on the East Coast, they don't really work for a lot of people other than people who live on the East Coast like me, because all my West Coast US friends are still working and all of my like European and people elsewhere around the world are either sleeping or just waking up. So hopefully this is a time that works for more people. Um, I'll also just throw a disclaimer out there that I'm starting this in December, which has like a couple major US holidays, well, with like Christmas and New Year. And I'm also going to be away next week on a team offsite. So no streams next week. And then I think we'll do the following week, but then I think the 2 weeks of the end of the year, I'll also be busy. So kind of weird to announce the schedule update now when I'm not going to be able to stick to it in the like immediate following weeks, but definitely starting in January, twice a week streams should become way more consistent, and I'm excited about that. I do have a question really quick. I don't know if there's anyone in chat yet who can help me out with this, but when I streamed on Wednesday, I messed up the audio output settings where this music that you're hearing is not supposed to be output to the Twitch VOD track, and it was. And this spoiled my YouTube upload. I finally sat down for the first time in like 6 months to upload YouTube videos, and I wanted to start with Wednesdays, and it didn't work. So if someone can take a Twitch clip and then tell me if you hear the music in the Twitch clip, that would be great. Because if it's wrong, I'll like try to fix and restart the stream before I get into the technical details of what we're doing today. Um, if no one's around to help with that, that's probably not a big deal. Because I think what I'm going to do for Wednesday's topic is we'll just do it again. Wednesday we did offline app support with SQLite, and we can definitely do more. Hey, Stevianos. Hey, Wild Dog. Okay, did y'all just get here? Did either of you hear my request for help like 20 seconds ago? Um, I'll repeat it now that some folks are here. Basically, I was hoping someone could take a quick Twitch clip and confirm. Yeah, so if you know how to do a Twitch clip, there's like a little like broadcaster thing that's on the web player at the bottom right. And if you do that, it will record the last 30 seconds. And I just want to make sure that the music is not being output to the VODs. Okay, cool. Because I messed that up on Wednesday. And so I want to make sure that I've fixed it before I go into the technical stuff. And because I'd really like to make sure this recording works. The last time we did widget stuff, it worked. It's still not on YouTube because I've been lazy, but I'll try to get that up soon. I'm going to try to catch up this weekend. I've got like months of stream recaps that need to get posted. Okay. I can listen to it, but then I don't know if it's gonna. Alright, here, let's do this. I'm gonna open this up. Okay, it's not there. Cool. Alright, so now let's put the music back on, and we can dive in. Okay, so what are we doing today? We're gonna move a little bit fast. I don't know if we'll move fast, but I also have I have a meeting at 2, which is in about like an hour and 20 minutes, so this will be a relatively short stream. But we'll see how far we can get. So, last time, last time we did day stream, we worked on adding a widget. So we added this widget, which we are calling our upcoming matches widget, but it's not using real world data yet. It's using test data that we provided because we would just wanted to play around with Glance and get a widget on the screen and working. So we did that. So what I'd like to do today, the goal would be to populate this with like real data of upcoming matches. So I did do a quick little test with the Octane API. I closed it already. But we can go to like Octane/matches, do after today, and we can actually get upcoming matches. So that's pretty cool. Um, I think that's great. So what we will do then is don't think our data layer supports this yet, so we might start there and make sure we have like data layer support for upcoming matches, and then once we have it, we can dump it in the widget. Hi Matt, how are you doing? So let's start with that. So we actually did. Well, let's also switch to a new branch here. Let's do upcoming matches widget real data. Is this a new app or are you still adding stuff to TOA? This is a new app. So if you do exclamation point GitHub in chat, you'll get a link. This is called Pocket League. It is a Rocket League esports results management app. Uh, I do plan to come back to TOA, but honestly, probably not till like January. I was kind of a little burnt out from doing the same app every time on stream, and so I wanted to mix it up. Uh, it's definitely not, we're not killing the project at all. I've just been taking a break from it for a couple months. It's a personal thing. Uh, but we'll definitely get back to it. And cheers. So, um, so this is the app, just to provide a little bit of context. So, if we want our widget to show upcoming matches, we need a way to get those. And right now, if we look at our match service, um, we've basically got, we could fetch match detail. Yeah, I haven't put any of these on YouTube. I think I'm going to because people have asked. But part of the reason I didn't, and I think I just need to put a disclaimer on the YouTube videos, I work on this project both on and off stream. And so I think the reason I didn't want to upload a bunch of stuff is because there might be context in between streams that is missing, although I usually present it if there is. But unlike TOA, where it's like everything on YouTube is like all the development I've ever done, like all the history is somewhat there. This one is not. But I think as long as I'm putting like the disclaimer on there, and my streams are usually isolated topics, that it works. But so here's our match service. This is a data contract for dealing with stuff in the match space. We've got like get past week matches, get matches for event stage. So let's basically add a new one here, and let's say get upcoming matches, which will be flow list match. We'll say retrieve a list of match entities that haven't. You've learned a lot. Okay, I'll get back to it. It's been hard. Um, it's not hard. It's just it's time consuming to do all the like post processing of the stream, of like plugging in the intro video. I also do some like audio management. I've just been busy, but I do want to get to it. I'll try my best to get the widget ones up soon. Happened yet. Okay, then we'll go into our offline first match service and implement this method. So implement this, get upcoming matches. Um, we'll do return database local match queries. Let's do select upcoming, which doesn't exist yet, but we can add it. We'll do as flow list. We'll do the same mapper. Actually, let's just copy this real quick because we're going to do the same thing as like getting past week's matches, but with a couple changes. Basically, we'll change this to select upcoming, and we'll also change this to fetch and persist upcoming matches. Matches. Oh my god. Um, and let's write this function real quick. Uh, but we'll put not yet implemented. We'll fill this out in a second. Okay. Actually, we can do this really quick. Let's copy this code really quick. So for those who have missed the recent stream, we've changed this app to largely use an offline first data flow. So what happens is in our service class, we want to basically return information directly from our local database, and then this on start on the flow is basically saying whenever we open the database connection, do this side effect, we can call it. And so whenever we start pulling from the database, that's when we're going to trigger the network request, which will fetch the data and persist it in the database. So the database is always our source of truth. Now, there are other ways we can look at syncing data. You may have seen some different ones, like now in Android does this a little differently, but we're using something called pull-based synchronization, which is basically whenever I need the data, that's when I'm going to sync it. Maybe in the future we can get a little smarter about like syncing at regular intervals or try to prefetch data, but for now we're basically just going to do it kind of on an as-needed basis like this. So I copied code from where we request matches and another thing, where basically we're doing within a range. But basically what we want to change is, so we want matches that are after the current date. So to get that, we'll do clock.system.now. And then we map those to our matches, and then basically what we'll do is we'll let's do this. So we'll do like, let's assume this is successful. And then we'll get the data match list, and then we'll say persist match list. Persist matches match list. We can look at it if you're curious, but it's code we've already written. This is suspending function. So what we need now is this select upcoming query, which doesn't exist yet. So let's go to local match.sq, and let's put in a new query here. And we'll say select upcoming, and then we'll do select star from match with event and teams, where let's do local match date UTC greater than or equal to date. And let's say we're going to order by local match date UTC ascending. So we'll see the most, or rather, the next match at the top of the list, and then like the furthest away would be at the bottom. Is the SQLite IDE plugin broken at the moment? There's usually autocomplete here. So we actually talked about this on Wednesday. The SQLite plugin isn't supported in Android Studio, or at least not in Android Studio Flamingo, which is what I'm using. I've seen people say it works in IntelliJ, but because I'm not using like pure IntelliJ, I don't have it. But I haven't looked that far into it. I didn't even know there was a plugin until Wednesday. Okay, so this built and ran, which tells me our code compiles now. So now that we have an ability for our... Is it broken? Oh, the SQLite plugin doesn't... It's not supported. Broken and doesn't work either. It's not supported in Android Studio. Yeah, I forgot what the reason for that is. I think they said it and there was like an open issue, but... and I put a caveat that it's at least not supported in Flamingo. If there's a more stable version that it is supported on, I don't know. But we looked at it on Wednesday. It's actually really clever. They are able to figure out what version I'm running, and they literally say this. Not compatible with the version of your running IDE. So this is why I say I don't know if there's a different Android Studio that is compatible, but the one I'm using, not compatible. So, yeah. But I will drop this in here for people who use SQLite who don't, who do use IntelliJ. Maybe you can try that out. It should work for stable. All right, well, we can blame me for being on experimental builds. But that's usually because the other flip side is usually the canaries have the best Kotlin multi-platform support. There was a reason for that, basically just like there's always these KMM changes, so sometimes when I open my KMM apps in Dolphin, it doesn't work great. No, it's not. We only have some problems updating to the latest IntelliJ versions. Interesting. So I wonder which version it was supported in. I don't know. I'm fine without the autocomplete. The it won't compile if my SQL is wrong, and it gives me very clear uh, SQLite explanations. So when I've had issues, I've been able to fix it. Um, okay, but so that's all in. So let's talk about updating our widget now. So I saved Peter's slides that we looked at last time for state management and like updating the widget. Um, but I think let's see. We will look at this a little step by step in a second. I think there are some dependencies we need to sort out here. So let's go to Android widgets build.gradle. And we're going to need a couple things here. So, right, this just depends on core display models. So let's do implementation project data um, match. And then, so we're depending on glance. I think we also need coroutines. Coroutines core. I'm just thinking out loud if there's anything else. I think we might need work manager to do what we want to do. Um, but let's cross that bridge when we get there. So let's look at the slides from Peter's talk on this back at DroidCon London and walk through. So they stored widget information in preferences, which we aren't doing. We're storing it in like a SQLite database, but we should still be able to reference it as long as I can get the context, which I think I can at some point. I should be able to because we need a context to create preferences as well. We can still pull our data. So we create this widget state helper class that saves information. Oh, they also do this is stored. I think we can ignore that for now. I can talk about what that meant a little bit. From their talk, they basically said they use the like Latin long of the widget to determine if it's been like saved already on the screen. So that's how they know the difference between two widgets. It was complicated. It sounded like a glance limitation, honestly. But I don't know if we need to worry about that because we've just got one widget. Um, but okay, so instead of the widget consuming the widget state, they changed this to where they call widget state helper.get state, current state, and then retrieves the current customizable sort as defined by glance state definition. Interesting. We can look at that. So for triggering widget updates, I wish I had the talk because I don't remember these code snippets. So there's this update app widget state, which stores state and preferences, but I don't know if I'm not really worried about that. I don't think. And then that's how they update. They use Work Manager for this. This is a refresh, which, like, I don't know. Okay. Alright, I'm just clicking through to see if I can see something that is helpful to what I need here. I also wonder. Hmm. I'm also wondering, do I need. Okay, here's how their weather widget worker. Maybe this is relevant. I should also pull this up on my other screen. Um, I feel like that would be easier for me to reference when I go into my other thing. We can create like this worker that does update widget state, and it just updates it in the. So there's like an object that has um, the state, and we just update that. Okay, I think we can just steal that idea for now. Um, oh, and then this is where they trigger that update work. Okay, let's not worry about that for now. Let's see if we can just go as far as getting the data in the widget, which I'm wondering if we need to do this through the worker or not. Like, or if we can just, I think we would be easiest. Yeah. Um, okay, so let's get this really quick. Work manager. Oh my god. Find the dependencies that we need here. Colin and coroutines. Okay, we can steal this. So 2.7.1. Let's open up our version catalog really quick. So work manager 2.7.1. And then we're going to want this line here. And let's go down here. I'll put in the Android X thing. That's the wrong thing. Android X, work manager, module, Android X work runtime. I guess we can do work manager, KTX. We'll call it that. Version.ref equals work manager. And then over here, we'll do implementation lives.androidx.workmanager.ptx. This should sync. So let me go through these slides again really quick. So we'll create this coroutine worker that can hold the data. That's fine. But then where do they trigger this? They don't specify it. Or is it this in that refresh click thing? Maybe it's in a loop forever. Yeah, but I still think you need to start it somewhere. So, okay. So maybe it's related to this. So let me go back to find their widget. So in their widget, they had a refresh button, this image, and then they have this on click. They do action run callback. Quick recap about how you're managing dependencies after you. Yeah, so I'm using a new thing called Gradle version catalogs. Um, so it's a cool way to share dependencies between projects. Let me drop it in chat here. Basically, the short answer is like you can create. You don't have to put it in this toml file, but that's what I did. But you define like your versions, which are just like project dependency name and the version number. And then down here you specify libraries and you give it like the module and the version reference. And what's kind of cool is you get, in a way, you get like type safe access for the version catalogs. So that's why instead of this is now my widget build.gradle file, my module, Instead of like putting the string things, I can literally do libs.androidx.workmanager.ktx. And once this is done syncing, I can show you, but you do get, like I said, you get autocomplete from it, which is really cool. So if I know, for example, that my dependencies are somewhere in my Android X block, I'm just waiting for it to finish indexing, um, which has taken longer than I thought. Yeah. So if I know it's somewhere in my Android X blocks, I can do Android X dot, and then look, I've got like my glance, core, app compat, blah blah blah, and I can see I want work manager, and then dot ktx is the only one I have. But yeah, that's really nice. And I don't know the details, but what I've been told is that this also helps with like caching stuff. That like if you change just one dependency, it's the version catalog like the cache management is better. It's not going to blow out the cache for the whole module necessarily, but just like the modules that use that dependency. I don't remember. There was a thing about it, but I think that's pretty cool. So going back to this idea, so in their widget, they have this refresh button that like triggers this refresh action, um, and then they like create the worker request and they send it, and so we will. I want to look and see if there's a way we can just like hook into the widget lifecycle, or maybe we should also add a refresh button. But let's come back to that later. So let's start by building out the worker class, anyways. Pulling up docs on my other screen here. One second. Um, well, I think we need to do a couple things here, actually. So we probably should um, close all tabs. Uh, Upcoming matches widget. We should define the widget view state here. So we have it, or rather, yeah, let's define that. Let's make a upcoming matches widget view state. That's a really long name. I don't know if I need to preface it with widget, but I'm going to put it in there anyways. Make this a data class, and then we'll just say, matches will be list match detail display model, and we can default to an empty list. Um, and let's also use their idea of making like a state helper object wherever they put it. Um, yeah, object widget state helper, and where we could put like I don't even know if we need like the save information. I think we just need. They don't show the what the get state function looks like, do they? Maybe I should look at their project. Because the other thing I was wondering, now that hold on, before I go down this rabbit hole, I'm just trying to think if there's a simpler way than Work Manager. And what I mean is, like, I'm in a composable function here. So can't I do, like, a launched effect? Which is a suspending function, right? Um, which is just like unit, and then do some work. So what I'm wondering, yeah, so I'm wondering if I can make this even simpler. Can we do, like, um, show would be like remember mutable state of. Um, I don't even. I think this can be val. Remember mutable state of. What is so? This would be mutable state list match detail display model. Okay, so we can do something like this, and I'm wondering we can make a launched effect, and then we can do um. Hmm. Do we have access to context? It's coroutine context. Local context? Ah, okay, okay. Hold on, hold on. So, and I want to see, does the Glance app widget have context? I don't think it does. Oh, interesting about this. I'm just okay. I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's try it out. Um, Service will be offline first, event service. Do I not have access to this? Oh, because it's offline first match service. Um, Database would be uh I don't have okay, one thing. One second. I'm missing another dependency that's helpful here. There's probably better dependency injection you can do um, for widgets, but I'm just gonna hard code the dependency I want in here. Hi, Lack, how are you? Lack? Lasix? I don't remember. But welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Um, what I'm trying to hack together, chat, right now is even though it might be better to do like a work manager thing that can update state, I want to see if like from the widget, if I can just define the dependency I want and then um, like just observe from within the widget. Uh, no. I wonder if the widget is allowed to keep forever. Yeah, I don't know. That's what we're gonna find out. So there's our local database, and then our API client, Octane GG. I don't know if I can reference this file. I can't. I need another dependency. We can. That's fine. One sec. We'll do data Octane GG. So for Google, wait, that's illegal. It's probably not best for a number of reasons, but it's this is a proof of concept moment right here. Like like we're just testing this that this does work, and we will then, if it does work, we can. Why did you not inject that dependency in the constructor? Which dependency in which constructor? Um, in general, the reason I have to pass the database and API client rather than defining them where these classes are is for testing sake, really. So that I can. Oh, I mean, I probably should. I probably should. You're right. But I'm just kind of like I said, proof of concept here. But that's a good note. Like this should be passed in. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to get something that like I want to prove that I can kind of do this, and then we'll think about like code organization for the widget. So then we'll do launched effect unit. So this just runs, um, and then let's do service dot get upcoming matches. Then we'll do. I think we can do. Let's do on each. We'll say matches to show equals. I think I did. Let's do upcoming match list. Give it a name here. You can constructor inject in a widget. I'll show you how it would happen in a second. Um, is this wrong? Oh, because I need to do map and then I do that to detail display model. Ah, wait, do I really need? I need the dependency on core models here. That's annoying, but I can see why. Something I don't do in this project that might be taboo is like every dependency I have is like an implementation, but I know you can do like API where it will like automatically pass it through. And that's probably makes sense because sometimes if I need module B and I need module A at the same time, like usually I need both, but I just am a masochist and I make it that hard on myself. So, um, okay, and then we'll do launch in this. So when this scope is created, I've also enabled type safe project successors. I agree that it's safer. Like if I don't need it, then I don't need it, and it keeps the build sizes for each module smaller. But that said, like in practice, there's a lot of times when I need stuff. Like if my data module is always going to be reactive, and I'm always going to need coroutines, then like I should just have my data module expose coroutines. But yeah, I agree. It's the whole thing. Okay, so we'll then do this launch effect. Let's get rid of demo matches. Actually, let's while we're cleaning up our thing, let's get rid of that. And so then let's go in here, and then this will be items indexed. Ooh, do I reference the index? Okay, I do. So we'll say match equals matches to display. We'll make sure this stays the same for each composition or whatever. Is it not matches to display? Matches to show is what I called it. Demotivating. No, don't think of it that way. It's a lot of what you do in Compose fundamentally is not different from what we already do. There's some nuanced things that are different, but I think you can learn it a lot quicker than you think you can. Um, okay, so before I run this, there was one other question I wanted to get back to. Stylianos asked about passing stuff into the widget. So if I wanted to put like the server service in here, what I do is in my directory we also have an upcoming matches widget receiver, which is basically this is a fancy broadcast receiver. I think if we look at it, okay, our provider, I guess, app widget provider. I don't know. I think if you go up the chain, it's a broadcast receiver. But anyways, this is where we create the widget. So like I could put dependencies here, and we could try to look at that later. But yeah, I also use RxJava at my like paid work environment, so it's not that crazy. Yes, also widgets are a special case of Compose, and they use a special blend of the Compose UI libraries that are different from everything else. Although everything we looked at can also be written, it like comes out of Compose Foundation, but yeah, that's also one thing to keep in mind. So we're gonna let this run. I may have to delete and reopen the widget, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, it is interesting. If this works, do I really want to change stuff? I mean, because I'm having my widget observe a database that's going to do one quick sync when the connection starts, but I'm not going to what's the word? Um, I'm not going to like regularly ping for upcoming matches, although I probably should because like if a match switches out of upcoming, then I want to keep track of that. But I was wondering one case between RX and coroutines. if you return single from Rx, then coroutines are much easier and quicker to implement. Um, if you return observable, then it's like a flow. There's no big difference. Agreed. So I'll be honest, I've never really worked on a like mobile core team that focuses on like performance and baselining stuff. That like, if you asked me to tell you the nuanced difference between an RX Java flowable and a live data and a coroutines flow, like I couldn't tell you. As a programmer, as a user of those tools, the nuance is just how they're implemented. But to me, they are all reactive streams that just say, hey, I want regular updates for this piece of information. And like that's interesting. Super types cannot be resolved. Make sure you have the required dependencies. Um, oh, interesting. Um, it's saying it cannot access base KTOR client. Um, So I think I need, let's just add a remote dependency here as well. Um, like I said, probably something better we can handle here. Yeah, I'm also biased to that, but my opinion on this is like anything that is first party JetBrains or anything JetBrains that is like first party to Kotlin is going to be better to work with because they built Kotlin. They're kind of made to go together. Um, And like RX Java is in Java, right? So I'm using that. Although technically you can use both, but like you can use RX Java in Kotlin. I guess I technically do that, but yeah, I feel like anytime you can tie into the specific language features, that's a good thing. Okay, let's remove this widget and let's add a new one real quick. Okay, and we are perpetually loading data. So, did this ever actually do anything? Um, that is the question. Um, I don't know how to check that. Let's do this. Let's see. And then we'll do nice. Hello, positively tile. How are you doing? Um, and let's also put something in here. Let's see. Opposition triggered. Let's do matches to. Are you allowed to stream this? I don't see why not. Why are we yelling? Very passionate about this. Yeah, this is just a personal project. Um, okay. So let's run this. I don't know if the widget stuff is also going to log to the log cap, but we're going to find out. You found me from Pyro's stream and Discord server. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Pyro's a great guy. Um, all right, let's try this again. Okay, wait. Starting observation, found matches, but it didn't re-trigger composition. Huh. Okay, okay. So is it an issue with this? I thought every time the mutable state changed. Oh my god. Wait, yeah. Matches to show dot value equals how many modules at Twitch? 1,000? Feels pretty close. I don't know the exact number, but there's a lot. Um, oh, wait, no, this is fine. Do I want buy, remember? Well, that'll give me just the value instead. Is this wrong? I don't remember how to do this. Let's go back. This should have worked. Maybe glance doesn't recompose like that, but it needs the update function to be called. You might be right. You might be right. So can I do? So do I just do this at upcoming widget dot? Um, how do I know what my glance ID is? Um, is that why this is about updating it outside so we have like the glance ID? Or can I do? Hmm, wait, this gives me a get app widget state. What does that do? Oh, do I define this myself? All right, well, so I can actually just give it the context. I can start here. Oh, well, I can't. Okay, let's do this. I can get it from up here. So then we can replace this one, and we can replace this one. I thought there was an update call that was just the context. So there's an app widget ID. Do I define this? I'm so close. Um, so how did they do this in theirs? They get it from. Oh yeah, okay. This update call does trigger composition, but I need to give it the glance ID. So how do I get my widget ID? In that case, it's always being passed around. Like the worker is able to look it up. Oh wait, glance app widget manager dot get glance IDs. Okay, and then it does just like first or null. Okay, can we do that? Um, I guess we could technically do that. We can do uh, wait, glance app widget manager get glance IDs, and then I can do like upcoming matches widget. That's not Java, and then do first. So this will assume the widget will there, but um, this feels hacky. We'll see if it works. That's what we're doing. Okay. I don't know if it's automatically going to update this widget. That'll be interesting. Doesn't look like it. Let's make a new one. Ah, Okay, let's look at the logcat again. Okay, so found matches and it's triggering composition over and over and over and over and over again. Um, which I guess we expected. Actually, I'm surprised that on each is being triggered over and over and over again, but it's not saving the value. Um, okay, so maybe we do need a work manager here. Um, although, ooh, oh, I think I know what's happening. So update is probably running this whole content call again, and so it's basically doing this over and over and over and over and over. Um, which makes me think we should do need to put the state management into some other class here. Um, okay, so let's try that. Let's try to put that together. We've got 30 minutes. Can I find? Okay, we've got the view state class, which is sick. Um, let's make that coroutine that worker class that we looked at earlier. Um, let's call this upcoming matches widget worker. Um, this will have we'll give this the service match service. We'll give this the app context and I guess worker parameters. I'm looking at blog post off to the side. Um, and this will make this a coroutine worker. App context worker parameters. We'll override do work. Okay. So what do we do here? So um, do we want to make this a one-off thing or have this observe data? I guess we would have it observe data. Um, okay, so let's do glance ID. We'll do glance app widget manager app context dot get glance IDs upcoming widget upcoming matches widget, and then we'll do first. Um, and then we can do what do we do here? Oh well, this is a suspending function. Um, so I don't have access to a coroutine scope here. So actually, observing seems like this might not be great. Um, yeah, I don't have access to. Oh, I can create a coroutine scope in here. I can also do remember coroutine. Wait, can I actually do that in here? That seems wrong. That's a composable function. I'm surprised it's letting me do that though. Um, what does this one do? Does this just start a new coroutine? So you can observe forever even without creating a. Yeah, so but the problem is okay, so the problem was if I do service dot get upcoming matches dot collect, right, and I put some stuff in here. I don't want collect index, I just want collect. Um update. And then I basically do and I do return result dot uh but do they not do success? I'm worried that this collect call will suspend. So I don't know if the widget ever actually returns, is what I'm worried about. Um, should this be a forever running thing? I don't think Work Manager is supposed to work like that. So I could have it pull once, but then I don't think my offline support thing is right. You know what I mean? Because so like I could do this. Um, I basically do like first or null. Uh, but then like when you first install the app and set up the widget, it's always going to be null. You know what I mean? Because it's not going to have made the network request yet. So I could have this only talk to the network. Um, that's my thought. But we could leave this for now. We could do it like this for now. Um, oh, I see. They do. I want to look at this again. Okay, so let's make a note here. So need to save upcoming matches state. Um, God, this is so confusing. Um, I'm like trying to do this while reading the blog post and understand, or those slides and understand what they're doing as well. Um, let's not worry about updates yet. Let's see if we could just get this running with their idea. So the other thing we do want then is I think we do want to go back to having this helper class, which basically saves the state. They save it in preferences. Do we need to do that? Um, or can we just save it in? I don't want to save it in preferences. Um, I'm so confused. I feel like I'm so close to piecing these steps together. And I feel bad because I'm looking at another screen and you're not looking at what I'm looking at. Um, I feel like they left this part out of the blog post. Can you access current state from the widget? Is that a thing? That is a function. But widget state helper is our own class, right? Yeah, so they left what this like get state looks like. Um, I think what they're saying we should have, so we should have this upcoming matches widget state helper. Maybe you have to look at their project. You're right. You're right. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's pull that up. Where is it though? Come on, pull it up. Uh, they say what it is at the end. Of course, they put it on a QR code. Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, yeah, let's do this. So I think they all put it all in the app module. Do you know how to map objects between each other without getters? Um, what do you mean by without getters? So usually I do it through like extension functions. So I do something like this, where I do a extension function on one type, and I say like to other type, and then I put it all in there. And this will just basically do this does some data processing or whatever, and then it basically just maps one to the other. That's how I tend to do it. Okay, widget state helper. Get state. Okay, so they really do pull everything from. I don't want to do that. I don't want to store the widget data in preferences. Um, you can test it by just calling it. Um, so, for example, you create an instance of type 1, right? And then you can create like your expected event, and then you do like val domain event equals octane event dot to event, and then you do assert equals. And I'm saying what I expected is the actual output. And I want to break encapsulation using public val in the constructor. So then you can override the equals method and do it like this. Basically, you have the output of the mapping and what you expect, and you assert those two things are equal. So you could test it technically if all the values were private, this would still work because the equals method between the two will be public, and that's what I'm ultimately using. Okay, so and what is widget state? Is this a glance thing? I think it's a glance thing. Yeah. Um, oh no, we define it's our widget state. Um, okay, so when they get state, they hold on. I want to look at this again. So this current state gives them preferences. How does it get that? Um, as far as I remember, you cannot use private val and entity of room. I thought they fixed that, but that might still be true. I can't remember. Okay, I've got 20 more minutes. I feel like this is a dud here. Um, this update call worked, except that it like calls content all over again. Oh, so can I do this? Am I making this more complicated than it needs to be? Um, can I do something like this? Can I put them in an empty list, get rid of this, and just instead of value set this? Um, except this is going to run every time, and I don't want this to run every time. That's fine. Let's have it run every time. I want to see if this actually does it. Um, what would this do? Okay, that doesn't work. I kind of thought by. Oh wait, but composition is triggered with the 20 matches. I'm surprised it's still showing loading data. What? This still feels wrong. It is visor, yeah. Um, why does your app run so fast? I don't know. Like, why does visor run so fast? Or the app build? Probably because I have a bunch of modules that it's the local builds are going to be pretty quick here. Um, yeah, it's probably because of a lot of multi-module work that I've done. Um, I might do something like try this. I'm just gonna hack something together. And let's see like something like if composition count is greater than equal to two. We'll just have this basically do two polls, right? Actually, we'll just say greater than one, or once we hit one. Let's just avoid calling this over and over again. Actually, we can even do it outside of this. But only trigger this launched effect. I guess equals zero. So we only want to trigger this the first time. What does this do for me? So I kind of understand what their project was doing about getting the state from the widget state helper, but what I didn't like is in their project they're saving it in preferences, which like I don't want to save a list of matches and shared preferences. There's got to be a better way. Um, I could like give it the database connection and just like query the database once. Um, as another way to do it. We can look at that if this doesn't work. Do what I think it's doing. It's still continuously running. Okay. Um, okay. Another thing we're gonna hack together here. Um, I'm going to do this purely for just your preference equivalent can be your SQL Lite now. You're right, it could be. Um, so that's kind of what I'm thinking here. What if I just change this to like what if I even get rid of the offline service? Let's just do this really quick. Like what if I just reference the database? Um, let's do would be database dot local match queries dot select upcoming dot map. Can I not do execute as list um, team list? So then we'll do match event theme list dot map. Oh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's let's just do this. Let's just technically. I don't know if this is technically happening on the main thread, but like whatever. Um, let's get rid of these matches to show. Like, why can't I just do this? Why can't I just pull from the database? Now, what I'm losing here is I'm losing the sync with the network, but every right, but I'm also not calling. Um, oh, and then we want to map this again. But I'm also not calling update, so that's fine. We can even get rid of that. Let's just see if this works. Um, we can start here. And I want to know that like I can make it work. We can make it work. Look at that. Of how they say 1 hour ago. Okay, we're gonna have to work on the time thing, but it worked. Incredible. Okay, so what have we learned here? So to render from DB. Let's make the notes here. We'll push this and then we'll work on it. Downfall is that we query database on every composition. We also lose the sync with network data, but we're lucky that happened to start. Um, but if I also, just to note this, like if I look at the logcat, so like composition is triggered once and that's it. Um, like if I lock my screen and open it again, if I go away, yeah, it seems like composition doesn't get triggered again. Even if I resize the widget. If I close this, go here. Yeah, it's not being triggered again. Why is this mapping not in the view model? Is there a new way in Compose? It's just I prefer not to map them until I need them. Technically, in my Surface class I was using before, the data layer mapping was happening, and I don't do the display model mapping until I actually need it. It was really cool that it worked. Um, okay, so this works to render from DB. Downfall is that it queries on every composition, though I don't think this triggers often. We also lose the sync with network data. This only works because we did async once before. Um, so I think what we would do is um, pull from DB when rendered, supply a refresh button to trigger a workflow, a work manager flow. That's what I think we would do. Um, let's commit this really quick. Working data in widget. Okay. I think we've got, oh, this isn't going to push because of static analysis checks, but um, sorry. I just realized I don't know if I put this on screen for y'all earlier, but it did work. It did work. So this is pulling from the database. And we can see in the log cat from earlier, it's not recomposing often, if at all. No, it still hasn't like triggered this composition triggered log cat yet. Um, so that's pretty good. So what would I do if I wanted to make this a little better? Well, a couple things. So I'm going to take all of this and put it onto a private function here, um, and call it upcoming matches lazy column, right? And then let's put a little toolbar on here. I think doesn't have to be a big one. I think we could do let's do a row modifier equals glance modifier dot fill max width. Um, I'll show you what I'm thinking of putting in here. Let's do a text. Text will be upcoming matches. We don't. Uh, so we do need it to have it recompose. We need the update call if we want it to change, because some external service or work manager required it to update. Then we would need it to recompose, and we would need that update call. But to just run once, to pull from the DB once, we technically don't need an update call. But if I had something in the background pull new matches, my widget currently wouldn't see them. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. Is I'm thinking of adding like a an update call. So I think we could do like glance modifier. Is there a wait? There's not a wait in here. Um, what is default wait? Size the element width to split the available space with other symbols. Okay, so this is basically giving a date, weight of 1. Okay. And then we can do icon button? Icon? I think just icon. What did they do in the... I thought they used an icon. I wanted to see what the compose function they used was. Oh, they used an image and they specified like an IC refresh. Okay, we can do that. But I think if icon exists, which that's what I'm worried about. I don't know if it does. No. Oh. No, that's for a button type. Okay, so we need an image. Um, provider. Oh, here we go. Icons. Oh no, that's another thing. Okay. Um, we will add IC refresh in a second. Content description could be refresh. Let's add that drawable real quick. Let's go res new vector asset refresh refresh. Um, and then what else are we going to change? Let's also do background glance theme dot colors dot primary container. Let's call it that. Um, okay, let's run this new widget real quick. Wait. Oh, I think I need. Okay, hold on. I need to go back to here. Let's put this in a private function here. Let's call this widget toolbar. Widget. Widget toolbar. And then these need to go in a column. Okay. Sorry. Okay, okay. It's there. We can tweak this. Let's go back to our widget toolbar. Um, do padding, 16 dips. Uh, let's also do, oh, get rid of that comma. Let's also do, what do I do with the other ones? Uh, we create a text style. Um, we'll do glance theme dot colors dot text color primary. I don't I don't know if that's what we actually want here. I think we probably want on primary container. And then let's also do what is default here? Um, I don't know, 18 text unit.sp. That's wrong. Why is this wrong? It's experimental. Okay, let's not worry about the text size. You got a meeting in 5 minutes. I do. I don't know if I'm needed for it, honestly. Let's see if there are any updates in work Slack. Ooh. Um, I might ask. Let's see who set up this meeting. Sorry, please hold. Yeah, I should be there for it. But it won't take me long to jump into the 'cause it won't take me long to jump into the work meeting. So let's whoop, whoop, whoop. Um, widgets. Beautiful. Here's what it looks like. Um, we could probably do even a little better. I think we can do uh we could do like vertical alignment, and we could do alignment dot center vertically. Um, so we'll run this and we'll call it here. And what I think we'll do next time is we can work on actually adding this refresh button and make it do stuff. But beautiful. Look at these upcoming matches. We can scroll through them, and then yeah, we'll work on the refresh capability next time. But we got it. At the very end, we got it. I think we can make it better with this work manager stuff and have it